Hey YouTube, what's going on guys? Hormus Eternal here, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. Now, I know some of you guys have uttered the phrase, I failed or I didn't succeed. You know, some of you guys think that, failure is not an option. That is totally not the case. Failure is an option, but it's how you bounce back and recover that really defines you as a person. Because you look at failure right now in the dictionary. Because as a matter of fact, I'll pull it up right now on Google. All right. I'm going to Google right now. Going to type it in. Number one definition is lack of success. All right. The second one is the omission of expected or required action. Now, that can be taken so many different ways. All right? Because like I said before, it's all in how you bounce back and recover from the thing that you failed at. There's lots of people out there who failed. There's lots of people out there who have failed, saw what they did wrong, and went back, fixed their mistakes, and became extremely successful. Learned what they did wrong, fixed it, and they accomplished what they needed to do, or what they wanted to do. Now, there's many different examples of failure. I mean, some of y'all out there are in relationships, right? Or some of y'all are single. You know, you find that special someone that you think you're really, really close to, and they're the perfect person, and you ask them out and they say no. Yeah. Failure's gonna fucking hurt. I'm just gonna say right now, failure's gonna fucking hurt. That right there is number one example of it, because I have this girl I've known for about 4 years. I asked her out and she said no. Did it hurt? Oh, hell yes, it hurt. I almost started drinking again because of how bad it hurt. But then I was like, shit, it's like, hey, maybe just the timing wasn't right and everything. And it's just like, I'll just wait and see what happens. Because, I mean, life goes on. I mean, you ask someone out and they say no, you're not going to fucking die from it. Yeah, it's going to hurt like hell, but I mean, you're not going to die from it. I mean, you took your shot. As somebody once told me, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I agree strongly with that, because, if you don't take that shot at whatever you're trying to do, you're not going to know whether you're going to succeed or fail. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard the old phrase, back to the drawing board. I mean, looking at car design. People have had to go through redesign vehicles multiple times to get things right, because they failed at something at one time or another. You are going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face. It's how you recover and how you bounce back from that defines who you are. Now, as some of you guys know, I am an avid raider in Destiny 2. And believe you me when I say this, there have been raids I have not completed because we just simply failed to accomplish what needed to be done. Now, I'll give you an example. As some of you guys know, I have a very, very close personal attachment to the King's Fall raid in Destiny 1. That's where I'm also drawing a lot of this inspiration from, too. The very first time I ever took a new person through, I failed. We didn't complete it. And I felt so horrible because I felt like I let them down. But then, I got thinking about it. It's like, if it wasn't for me and this team that I was with, taking them through and teaching them everything up to the boss encounter, teaching them the boss encounter, even though we were all really tired and just everything was not lining up the way it needed to, they would have never known about it. They would never known how to do the raid, ever. They wouldn't even know what, what a blight was for the raid, what the glyphs were for War Priest, what the reclaimed light was for Golgoroth, or what the relic was for Sisters, or none of those things. They would have never known that. So the way I see failure, yeah, it's going to sting me a little bit, but to me, that gives me a chance to look back and see where I failed, how I failed, what I can do to improve to be better. Now, I've had experiences in the new raid on one of the newer raids on Destiny 2, Garden of Salvation, which is why I'm sitting here at this screen so you guys can see this. The very first time I tried to go through that, I was so excited that I actually had the chance to go through it. I got to the second part of the raid, which, for those of you who don't know, there are 4 pillars you have to defend, and there are 4 pillars you got to defend from special shielded ads. You'll have a person come through and give you a special buff that will allow you to defeat some of the special ads that'll come in there. And there'll be special hydras that'll come in that'll try to block it off till you can't get that buff. So we got to that encounter. I'm not going to go in details about the full encounter because it's like a 10-minute explanation, even with just the Cliff Notes version. But I told the guy, I was like, hey, I don't have, Izanagi's Burden or, Xenophage for damage, which is 2 of the meta weapons for damage in that raid. The guy cussed me out and called me every name in the book, and then proceeded to kick me. Now, was I hurt? Oh, extremely. Did it suck? Oh, you better believe it. It sucked horribly. It sucked hard. But I made it my mission and my goal, because I saw what I didn't have and what I needed to do to be able to complete the task that I wanted to complete. I made it my mission to get those 2 items. I got it, and then I ran across somebody else. God bless their name. I can't remember their name now for the life of me. But they were kind enough and patient enough to take me through on my very first run, my very first successful run. I'm sorry. But we got it done. I got my first run. I got this emblem that you see now. And I had such a great time doing it. I made it my mission to just keep doing it more and more and get better at it to help others to get them their first time through it successfully. Now, that goes back to what I said earlier about, learning where you went wrong and what you did wrong and where you can improve and get better. I looked back, saw what I needed to do, and I went and did it. And that has actually opened up a lot of really fun opportunities for me, like meeting the #1 person in the world for that raid. The guy was so cool. He was so chill, but if you never did the raid before, he was super nice about it. He was super chill. And he would actually show you what to do and make it a lot easier for you to get it done so you can get your first clear. Because he likes helping people out. And I'm going to give him a quick shout out. Wingman, I will still never forget those runs we did. Those were chaotic, but they were the most fun runs I've ever had in my life, dude. Thank you. Now, it doesn't go to just, games. It goes to, real life. Like I said, asking a girl out. Or, if you're a girl, asking a guy out and, getting rejected. Yeah, that goes hand in hand with failure. But at the same time, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, maybe I need to, like, work on myself, or, maybe they just weren't, the one for me. It's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to suck, but it's going to happen. It's like, trying to buy a new house, a new car. You don't get approved. Yeah, it's going to suck. It's going to hurt. But you know what? Hey, maybe it just wasn't the right time, or, maybe just things weren't where they needed to be in order for that to happen. Like I tell you right now, one of my goals right now that I'm actually working towards is getting a Desert Eagle. Now, yes, that's my goal. It's about a $1,600 handgun. Or, well, handheld artillery piece, as I like to affectionately call it, because it's basically what it is. Now, if I don't get it, yeah, I'm going to be kind of disappointed, but at the same time, that opens up other opportunities for me as well. Because, especially with a goal like that, yeah, you're going to have people that are going to beat you down and be like, oh, ammunition's going to cost like $10 a bot, like $10 a round for it, or something like that. Just something stupid to make you, discourage you, to lead you to want to fail, or to make you fail. Now, because I right there, that shit irritates me when people do that. Don't just be like, oh, it's going to cost you so much to maintain and all this and blah, 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 blah. Don't be fucking doing that shit. I mean, I got a friend of mine, Matrice de Morte, who here recently made Challenger. I was so fucking happy that he made Challenger. That shit right there. I was like, yes, I knew you'd fucking do it, dude. I sent a message to Discord and I told him, like, good shit on making Challenger. Because in our Discord, we have a Flex/Roast channel where we can kind of jab at each other and poke fun at each other. I saw that and I wanted to send him a PM about it. And, well, I'm going to give you guys another personal example of one of my failures. Here recently, I tried to take a group of people who have never done the Last Wish raid and take them to the final boss to do a special strat for the final boss fight to actually get them their first completion and show them how to do it and possibly get them one of the most insane exotics in this game to drop, the 1000 Voices. We tried for almost 2 hours to get it, and I was getting so discouraged and beating myself up over it. And I told them, exact words, I failed you. I failed you guys. I'm sorry. I need to go. I remember this very vividly. Reneva, her exact words snatched me out of that because I was getting really depressed and really mopey. And she said something that really, kind of struck at me. I was like, you're right. Because what her exact words were, hey, don't beat yourself up over it. We would have never known how to do this if it wasn't for you showing us. I would have never known how to do this or what to use. In a sense, I failed but succeeded. What I got to do now is go back and actually run some more of that encounter with that special method to actually learn how to do the cheese correctly. Yes, in the raiding community, that's what is often known as a cheese. Taking a quick drink here. But, failure is going to be everywhere. I'm just going to tell you that right now. No matter what you failed at, you can recover, learn from the mistakes that you made, go back in, and succeed at it. That goes for everything in life. I'm trying to keep it legal here. Keep it legal. I'm not going to be responsible for some of y'all going to jail. No. All right? I mean, say, oh, I want to make $1 million. Cool. You start a business, everything's going great, and it's just like, oh, I didn't make my $1 million. You have a business of your own. That's something not a lot of people can say. Oh, I didn't get the car I wanted, or something like that. You have a working mode of transportation. I didn't get the house I wanted, blah, blah, blah. You have a roof over your head. Okay? Things may not have lined up for you to get that. All you gotta do now is go back and look and see, what didn't line up for you to not get that particular item, or accomplish that particular goal. Work on that from there, and then try again. Because I'm gonna quote a song by one of my favorite artists, Rob Zombie. Never gonna stop me. Right? I heard that, and that's something I'll be listening to, especially at my work. Because that is kind of like how I am, especially while I'm at my work. You aren't going to stop me. Nobody will. All right? And I'll give you an example of one of my goals that sometimes I feel like I'm failing at myself. I want to make Master or Challenger tier as a raider on Destiny 2. Yeah, I know it's something small and kind of insignificant. It's like, what does it matter? Well, even if I don't make it, because my goal is to make it by my birthday. Even if I don't make it, I can look back and see, okay, I need to do, X number of raids a day to make that goal happen. Like, okay, that's what I need to work on. That's what I need to do. Now, I've also heard this from several people that I call close personal friends and people who also do raids with me on here. They failed because they didn't complete the raid. You learn something from that, though, right? Failure, to me, though, is a learning experience. You took your shot. It didn't hit its mark. You learned something. You learned what you got to do. There you go. Go back, try to improve on the area where you messed up, and there you go. And people sit there and say, oh, I gotta be perfect, blah, 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 and all this. Rob Dial Jr., one of my biggest inspirations for why I'm even doing this type of video right now, said something that, really resonated with me. Done is better than perfect. Coming from a raider like myself, we'll have what's called scuffed runs, where things kind of go sideways and we got to recover. And, like, oh, we didn't get, enough damage on the first damage phase. So we got to really step our game up on the second one. Okay, that's what we call a scuffed run. Or like somebody misses, a shot in a damage phase. Oh, I scuffed the damage phase for myself. That's a scuff. By definition, a scuff is a blemish or an imperfection in something. Now, people who sit there and say, oh, you have to be perfect at this, blah, blah, blah. Done is better than perfect. I can go back through right now on my raid report for Destiny 1. Yes, it's a real thing, by the way. And I can show you every single scuffed King's Fall run I've done. Every single scuffed Crota, scuffed Vault of Glass run that I did. Where I've had to pull out several kind of exploits to make things happen that I didn't want to really show, but I did, because that was, to me, that was like my ace in the sleeve. Well, going back to my very first Sherpa of King's Fall, we weren't getting past the third encounter of the raid. Okay? Those who know the raid know which encounter I'm talking about. Golgoroth. He can be a royal pain in the ass if he wants to. I had to call a friend of mine who at the time had 70 times the clears and experience that I did. I felt like I failed. But I told the team that I was with, and I told the guy I was with, I'm calling a friend of mine. He's really, really highly experienced at this. He's a good friend of mine. And to get it done. To me, I felt like I failed. I felt like I need to go back and actually run more of that particular encounter to learn how to do it better, to learn all the different strategies and recovery methods for that encounter for every character. That goes without saying, though. No matter what you're doing in life, you try to get that promotion and, someone, beat you out. And, you get talking to your boss and you find out, and you're like, hey, why didn't I get that promotion? Blah, blah, blah. And they tell you why you didn't. What they're basically telling you is like, hey, this is what you need to go back and work on to do that. Because I'm actually in that situation right now with my work. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, personally, I work at Wendy's. I've been trying to get promoted since I even knew what the other positions were besides crew and management. And I've been trying to get promoted ever since then. They say, it's my attitude that keeps holding me back. And to be quite honest, that was kind of a slap in the face. But it's like, they told me, it's like, if you stay chill, stay cool, things will be fine. You'll make it there. You'll get there. I promise you that. And I will admit, I kind of got overwhelmed. And I kind of snapped and lost my cool. And I will openly admit that. So I need to go back and see what I was doing wrong and go back and fix that and try again. Now, yes, one of my work friends, Joe, he got promoted. Guy is one of the most laid back, chill, goofy people you ever meet, but he's so fun to be around. But yeah, he made the promotion, which actually I got really upset about because, like, why wasn't it me? Sorry about that. So yeah, I was kind of hurt. It kind of sucked. But, that was basically, to me, it's like, okay, this is what you need to work on. This is what you need to do to achieve that goal of getting promoted. Now, it's like, I'll give you guys another example. I've been working on training my German Shepherd. It's a chore sometimes, and I will openly admit that. Do I hate shunning him and punishing him? Yes. But sometimes, he knows I'm talking about him because his ears just perked up. But sometimes he kind of needs it. He needs kind of a reminder, hey, I'm the alpha here, not you. Like, hey, this is what you need to do to get rewarded. But I'm sure in his little doggy brain, I tell him no or leave my socks alone. He'll be like, oh, Dad doesn't want me, chewing on his socks and trying to eat his socks. I don't need to be doing this because, this is bad. This is why I messed up. But for me, that shows me I need to work on, a little bit longer training sessions with him, or, a different method with him. So what I'm trying to say basically here is, don't see failure as a negative. This is the way I see it. You took your shot. You had something laid out in front of you. You took your shot at it. You didn't quite make it. Go back and figure out what you can do to improve, work on it, and then be better at that particular thing, and then go back and try it again, and guess what? Watch what happens. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that meme, challenge accepted. That's basically what it is. It's a challenge. But yet, you didn't quite make it. You want to improve? Challenge accepted. It's like, I thought I'd never get through the Deep Stone Crypt raid on here. Guess what? I looked at it. Challenge accepted. I was like 20 levels under when I did my first run. I was 20 levels under, still did it. I looked at the raid and I said, challenge accepted, let's do it. Everyone else in the team was like, wait, what? Are you crazy? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then sure enough, I did it. Got my first run in, got my first clear, got her done. Now, you're not going to fail just once. You're going to fail multiple times before you succeed. Each time you fail and you learn and yet you try to perfect it, that's a step that you're learning. That's a step that you're taking to succeed. Don't take my words for it. Take people like Bill Gates, Carroll Shelby, Henry Ford, Steve Jobs. People like that. Oh, you better believe they failed several times over. But you know what? It didn't stop them. Look at them now. Bill Gates is one of the richest people probably in the world right now. Okay? I mean, Bungie, right here. This right here is a perfect example. People say they failed. I don't see it as a failure. When they separated from Activision, people say, oh, that was a failure. No, that was them learning. That was them getting on their own and learning, to be better, to actually do the things they wanted to do without being hindered. Because when Shadowkeep launched, little do people realize that was Destiny history in the making. Now, yeah, they may have made some mistakes, but they went back through, learned from those mistakes, tried to fix those mistakes. And look, it's like with the Deep Stone Crypt raid. Yes, there was a few bugs, aka a few mistakes, a few little errors that happened here and there that people could use and kind of abuse to certain degrees, if you want to call it that. Atrax encounter. But they learned that, they made a mistake there. They went back through and fixed it. Am I upset they fixed it? No. Do I really care? No, not really. Because I could never do the stupid glitch anyway. Anyway, that's besides the point. That's completely irrelevant. Now, someone else has also probably failed a few times over. Your parents, your friends, your coworkers. Think about that one. I mean, they worked. They didn't get a promotion at times. Things didn't quite go their way. But did that stop them? No. I mean, it's like when you're trying to, say, quit smoking or quit drinking. Something that I've often heard when it comes to something like that is called relapsing. Like, if you make a promise to someone, oh, I'm going to quit drinking. 4 days later, oh, you're back, you're 3 sheets to the wind drunk. Your blood alcohol content is my number of Garden of Salvation clears, which is 106. Which I'm pretty sure at that point you'd probably be dead, but that's besides the point. Your blood alcohol content is yes. Yes, that's a failure. But how can you recover? Wait the next day and you'll find out. And you'll wish you never did. Because then when you wake up that next day with that hangover, or that person wakes up that next day with a hangover, and they're sitting there like, oh man, my head hurts so bad, I feel like absolute crap. That was you failing. That's basically your body telling you, this is what you need to fix, and this is what you need to do. Then you can go back and do it, which is not drink. Or, not take drugs. That's another one. Anyway, guys, the main thing to take away from this, as Mythbusters said, failure is always an option. Yes, that is 1,000% true. But what failure also is a learning experience. Anyway, guys, one last thing. I want to thank Rob Dial Jr. for inspiring me to create this. Rob, sir, if you see this, thank you for kind of being the inspiration. And all the people I've mentioned before, thank you for kind of being inspirations for me. For making stuff like this. But as always, guys, if y'all really found this helpful, if this, made your day a little bit better, helped you out in any way, shape, or form, please let me know down in the comments below. Because I want to do something different. I want to do something, positive. I want to do something, to help people out. Because that's one thing I really enjoy doing. Knowing that I can do something to help someone out and make someone's day just a little bit better, that makes me feel like a freaking boss. As always, guys, y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there. God bless you, and I hope you have a great day.